guess which stubbly boy has a cold right now? My throat is hurting, but I wanted to get some videos done so that I had a little bit of a back catalogue for you guys. So that if I'm not well or I can't stream or I'm working, I can at least upload an episode. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mini Frigynthia here. Welcome back to another episode of Minimug. Today we're going to be talking about a controversial topic in the Nintendo Switch game library. It's something that has come up a lot. It still happens now, unfortunately. We're here to talk about something that players, both Nintendo Switch lovers and haters, have started calling the Switch tax. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where, for whatever reason, mostly third-party titles that have been ported over to Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Nintendo Switch, you will usually find that those games end up costing £5 to £10 more for the physical edition, and that's not even counting sometimes the downloadable edition. To give you an idea, let me explain. The most recent idea that I can think of at the moment is Sonic Forces. Now, on Amazon, the price seems to be around about the same for every single version, £35 per version. I think it might have dropped considering the lackluster reviews on the game, unfortunately. But I was excited. I'm going to be getting it on my next paycheck, and I was looking forward to it. But I couldn't decide exactly which version to get. PS4 or Nintendo Switch. Do I get it for the PS4 Pro and live streaming possibilities, or do I get it for the Nintendo Switch for the portability? I ended up checking in my local Asda, and the price of the game on PS4 is £30. The price for the Nintendo Switch version is £35. And unfortunately, I wish it was an isolated incident, but it isn't. It's a lot of third-party titles. Lego City Undercover that came out, I think it was summertime, port of a Wii U game that was ended up being kind of HD remastered for PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, maybe a PC release, I'm not too sure. The game was about £25 to £30 on PS4, and on Nintendo Switch it was anywhere from £35 to £40. A little bit further, Just Dance, once again, £35 on PS4, maybe even cheaper, and once again, a £5 to £10 increase for the Nintendo Switch version. That is what people have considered the Switch tax. It is not exactly the best business practice in the world, but I can understand where the problems lie. Now, some people are instantly going to be upset about this, because there are going to be one console homes. They only have, say, a PS4 or an Xbox One or a Nintendo Switch. And if they have the Nintendo Switch, of course they're getting the raw end of the deal, for what from the outset seems like lesser graphics at usually 30 frames per second, maybe try and get it to 60 if possible, but a lower resolution as well. You're paying £5 to £10 more for the Nintendo Switch version. Even in families where, say, like, I have a Nintendo Switch, of course, but I do also have a PS4. I'm, of course, going to look at both games and think, does the price of the Nintendo Switch version justify? And this is something that has been brought up a lot, and something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I think it's finally time to discuss why I think the Nintendo Switch tax is not as bad as some people think it is. Let's look at this for a second. You have to... This isn't the days of the Wii U, where it was kind of a risk to bring a third-party title to the Nintendo Wii U. This is the Nintendo Switch. A lot of third-party companies want to get on board with the Nintendo Switch, and they're of course going to need the extra man hours. It's not as simple as just take the PS4 version and dump it onto the Nintendo Switch. The Switch is not as powerful as even the base PS4. It isn't, and that's something that a lot of people gotta realize, is the Switch is a weaker console in some cases. As much as I hate to say that, and I just want to say as well, I'm not dissing the Switch all of a sudden just because it's a cool thing to do. I'm just one of those fans where I realize the faults, and I've got to say it while I'm here. It's not as powerful as the PS4, so of course they need extra man hours. Either they have to give the game to a different company in order to port the game over to the Nintendo Switch, like find a way to get the graphics and everything, like from frame rate to resolution to character models, everything working fine on the Nintendo Switch. Because one bad game on the Nintendo Switch could mean the difference between whether or not Nintendo are really happy about that third-party developer being there. And so that's one reason, extra man hours, in order to put the Nintendo Switch games, port them over to from the PS4 to a weaker console. The other thing as well is, of course, one thing that has to be mentioned. I was going to take that out, but then I just thought then I will lose some of my save of Super Mario Odyssey. I'm not doing that. I'm 725 moons deep, so I'm not doing that. But it is an entire Blu-ray disc trying to be shoved into a tiny cartridge. Like, we're talking about a cartridge that is smaller than a 3DS cartridge, about the same size as a Vita cartridge, but slightly thicker. And I know people are going to say, like, oh, it can't be that hard, it's got memory in there, it's going to have, like, its own thing. Yeah, but you still have to think about the fact that with cartridges, there's an obvious cost difference. Blu-ray discs are very cheap. They are extremely cheap nowadays. They can be mass manufactured for pennies nowadays. Whereas cartridges, they have to be bought from Nintendo. This has been the way of Nintendo since the NES days, and they're not going to stop anytime soon. They are proprietary software. It's not as if Nintendo allows third parties to just all of a sudden make third-party Switch cartridges. It's not going to happen. But I wish they would kind of allow that, to be honest, because, well, here's the thing as well. Nintendo made a statement right back at the beginning, back when they noticed how expensive these Switch cartridges were. A lot of people were asking Nintendo, why is there a Switch tax? And they ended up saying it like this. They ended up saying that we make the companies pay for the Switch cartridges, but how much they're priced is completely up to them. And you know what? I can believe that, considering a lot of third-party titles are the same price, if not more, on the eShop. Breath of the Wild, £45 to £50 game, 60 quid on the eShop. Just Dance 2017, I got that game for £45. It is still £50, £60 on the eShop. So I really don't think this is a matter to do with Nintendo themselves this time. It's not like the old days where they bump up the price of the cartridges in order to make sure that these games had the highest amount of revenue possible for them, while also allowing the companies to have a little bit of profit. I think this is the third-party developers this time. As much as I don't want to just blame third-party development, it probably is the case. We're looking at Doom and Skyrim coming out near soon, and they're £45 games again. And a lot of people are going to wonder, yes, it is portable, but am I willing to spend another 45 quid on a version of Skyrim that I can easily play on my PS4? But this brings up something that I always defended when it came to people talking about the Switch tax, and that was, of course, the portability. I always consider that Switch tax the tax for portability. That is how I like to think about it, because you think you can go out and you can pay £35 for the PS4 version. It would have enhanced graphics and PS4 Pro enhanced graphics and all that kind of stuff. Or you can pay that tenner extra in order to basically get a game that works as a TV game and a portable game. I would say I play my Switch portably about 20% of the time. I'm more of a home console guy. But I do like the fact that these games, you can play them on the go. You can indeed play them on the bus or at a car ride or when you're waiting for a meeting or a friend or something like that. That's what I love about the Nintendo Switch. And that's obviously where the tax kind of... The ends justify the means in this case. I feel that the portability alone is enough to make you spend that extra £5-10 in order to invest into portable versions of games you enjoy. As I said, Skyrim and Doom are coming out, and I've already got Skyrim on the PS3 and PS4 with the Enhanced Edition, and I've got Doom on the PS4. But I'm going to get the Switch versions later on, because I can play those same games on the go. There's recently been a video where the comparisons have been made where the Switch version up against the PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, and PC 4K footage. And yes, it doesn't look as good, but you have to think about the fact that this is portability here, and that's where it all comes down to, in my opinion. There are going to be people who won't want to pay for it at all, and I can completely understand that. You're completely in your own right to want to save that £10 or £5, and that goes towards an extra game if you wanted to. But once again, I feel that this is a new console. The cracks are going to be ironed out eventually. I think the only problem I have is when Switch games have that Switch tax on them, but there's obviously less in there. Or they're the same price as the PS4 version, but there's less in the content. See FIFA 18, where they completely took out the story mode. That's a different kind of Switch tax that I do not appreciate, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's all I can really say on the issue. I do apologize about my last couple of videos being a little bit more on the serious side. I think it's because I'm still getting over this cold, and burps, apparently. And I'm still trying to figure out the whole format of this show in comparison to other videos I'm going to be doing. But I want to thank everybody for joining me on this, the talking about the Switch tax. I would like to thank everybody for watching, everybody who's commented. Please leave a like if you like this video, share it to your friends, comment and let me know on a topic that you would like me to talk about, and don't forget to subscribe and press that little bell icon in order to be informed as to when I next go live streaming or upload my next Minimug or unboxing. There's really a dry spell on unboxings, unfortunately. I know there's a lot of people that have talked to me that want another unboxing video, but until an unboxing kind of comes around that I want, there's no way that I'm going to be doing that. So hopefully I will see you soon. I have next week a lot off, so I'll be live streaming and also backdating on a lot of videos that I want to make. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Minimug. Thank you so much for watching. Minifriginthia out.